Welcome back to Just Between Us. That's right, we're back, baby.
We're going to give a little update about what Allison's been doing. But
first, we're here because we're sponsored by HelloFresh, everyone's favorite meal kit delivery service.
Allison made frijoles fresco bowls.
Yeah, I did. So first, let me just say that HelloFresh takes all of the meal prep and planning out of the way for you so that you can actually enjoy cooking, and it only takes about 30 minutes to make a meal, or only 20 if you get one of their quick recipes.
You can change a week or skip a week or change the type of preference. We always usually get veggie.
Mm-hmm.
That's just our preference.
This is very beautiful, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed my presentation of this one. Does it taste good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's spicy.
Oh, wow, I did a good job.
Yeah, you did a great job. You put a kick in it.
Yeah, you were late, so I've just been waiting to eat this.
I'm so sorry. Have you just been staring at it?
Oh, my God. Would you like some crema?
Oh, you made
put that right
you
on
made
top.
crema.
Break out of your recipe rut with over 22 chef-curated seasonal recipes that are delivered right to your door. Plus, with pre-measured ingredients, there's less waste and less prep. If you go to HelloFresh.com and use our code JustBetweenUs10, you can get 10 free meals doing their New Year's special with free delivery.
That's HelloFresh.com and use promo code JustBetweenUs10.
And normally, each serving is only like $5.66.
Wow, specific.
This rice has scallions in it and butter. I had no idea you put butter in rice.
You really?
You knew that?
Oh my God. So, updates. Allison, do you want to do your... you guys, my update is a lot of work, a lot of the same. My partner is out here and bought a ticket to come and then didn't buy a ticket to go home. And now we don't know if they're ever going home. That's a quick update. Now to Allison's update, which is much bigger.
Well, if you follow me on social media, which if you don't, check it out, you might already know, but I'm in graduate school.
Woo! Allison started grad school at Pepperdine for
a master's in clinical psychology with an emphasis on marriage and family therapy. What's up, bitches?
So, actually, if you've ever wished Allison was your real therapist, you might get that chance someday.
5 to 7 years.
So you're going to go from mental health expert in your life to mental health expert for realsies.
Well, that's the goal. Like, I want to be able to have the background and the licensing, or at least the master's, and be able to, like, speak not just about my own experience, but about, like, the field in general, and also hopefully help more people and be a better writer and maybe have a private practice. Who knows?
Stay tuned for Allison is one of your therapists. One of you lucky viewers will get to have Allison as what if that was a game show we were running? We'll get to have Allison as a therapist.
It's like very interesting to be back at school for many reasons. One, I'm going at night, so that's exhausting.
Mm-hmm. How long are your classes?
3 hours.
Okay, and how often are you going?
Twice a week.
Okay.
7 to 10 p.m.
Okay, that's late for you.
That's my bedtime.
Yeah.
And then I get home and I'm all riled up.
Because you've learned so much.
Yeah, I've learned so much. I'm just not ready to go to sleep yet. So then Jake goes to sleep and I watch Vanderpump Rules.
How much homework do you have?
So right now, it's reading.
Okay.
Which I enjoy and like a lot. I'm going to have tests. I'm also doing this thing in my behavioral principles. Oh, look at my textbooks.
Oh, yeah. Behavior modification.
What it is and how to do it.
I'll read that after you.
This one is like very regimented. It's like behavioralism, so it's literally like Pavlov's dog, like conditioning and like how to like, it doesn't care about like your history or like, I mean it does a little, but it's literally like you're doing this one thing and how do we get you to stop? Or how do we introduce this new behavior?
Useful.
Part of my class is that I have to do a behavioral modification project on myself.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm trying to not eat after 9 p.m.
Okay. And like you're using the techniques in here?
I mean, I get a bag of candy if I do it.
Oh.
That's my positive reinforcement. I get a fun dessert.
Psychology.
This is my other class. It's called Psychopathology, the class, but it also means abnormal psychology.
Okay. And that's what? That's people with specific disorders?
It's like let me read to you what it is. This course examines historical and conceptual perspectives on psychopathology and the manner in which these perspectives interfere with clinical applications. Psychopathology is examined from the biomedical, psychodynamic, behavioral, cognitive, existential, humanistic, and psychosocial perspectives.
Whoa. Were you ready for that when you read it?
No. But what happened was I ordered the wrong book by mistake, and that book was so scary, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this, but then I ended up not needing it. I did waste $200.
So what are the things about going back to school that people might not know, or people, you know, because the textbooks are expensive, there's a lot of reading. What else is like new and different?
It's just weird to be in that social environment again where you're like trying to make friends and like nobody normally, like now, like if you meet somebody, for the most part it's like through someone else, or you're having a meeting with them, like they have like some idea of who you are and what your deal is. But like I don't know any of these people. They know nothing about me. I know nothing about them. When they like tell me what they do, I'm like, whoa, that's a job. Like,
or you're like, you could be lying. You're you're studying psychology and psychopathy because you're a psychopath.
That could be it. It's weird because I really didn't want to go back to school, and then one day I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So if people are grappling with going back to school, what's your advice?
Well, I think you need to make sure it's a program that makes sense. So, like, if you're like, I don't know what I want to do in my life, and so I'm just going to get this random degree, then I would not recommend it because it's expensive and takes up a lot of time. But if you're like, I really want to go down this specific career path, and this degree will allow me to do that, and the only thing holding you back is not having that degree, then I think you should just take the leap.
I think people are worried about like having been out of school for such a long time and getting back into the rhythm of it.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I don't know how to study. Like, I have no idea how to study. I don't know how to write papers, the type of papers I'll have to write. I'm going to have to take a statistics class. What'll that be like?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but I feel like I want to push myself. I feel like I haven't pushed myself in a really long time. And
you said your brain felt like it was being wasted.
Yeah, because I just sit around all day hoping someone will hire me to do something. And then I was like, I wanted to take some of the power back.
Yeah, be able to control like the future and what's going to happen and like a trajectory that you're going in.
Or yeah, give myself either like a different path or like supplement the path that I'm on.
Yeah, because we talked about like people thinking that academia or going back to school is like a giving up or a cop-out or something, when like I was wondering when we stopped valuing education, like when we stopped saying like, you know, oh, at a certain age, you're done. You have to stop learning. You can't learn anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if I end up not finishing this degree, which, like, who knows, that could happen,
Yeah.
then, like, at least I learned, you know?
Yeah.
It was an expensive way to learn, but I'm trying to just be open because, like, there are certain career opportunities that if I got, then it would be hard to keep going to school. Mm-hmm. There's some where I totally could, but I just don't know what's going to happen.
You can also delay it if you need to.
I have to just be not strict about what the next few years of my life look like, and that's a process for me. Do you want to hear some things I've learned?
Yeah, sure.
This is about HelloFresh.
If I ever went back to school, I think I would want to be a medical examiner.
Okay.
Because I think some people have a real problem with dead bodies, and I have a superpower where I don't really care. And so I think that would be a good job for me. But alas, here I am. Anyway, what did you learn?
So basically that, like, people have no idea why mental disorders happen.
Really?
Or that, like, there's no, like, specific, this happens and then this happens and that, like, it's a bunch of different reasons. Different people can have the same disorder but have it for different reasons, like biological, social, like behavioral, like, biological, like cultural, like things in their environment or trauma that's happened to them.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is that, like, for me, my OCD, like, happened when I was 4, and I'd had no trauma. I didn't have, like, any risk factors in my life because I was, like, in a loving, supportive home. But so I got it purely from biological reasons, which is unusual. So it was, like, clearly I had a genetic disposition to it, and then I got the strep throat, and then that activated it.
So you wouldn't, maybe, like, a different person wouldn't have had it activated? Like, if you hadn't gotten strep?
Well, so that's what I'm realizing is I probably would have gotten OCD no matter what, but it might not have come out until later if I hadn't gotten strep.
Oh.
So it might not have come out until I had, like, a major stressor in my life.
I've heard that about some mental illnesses.
Yeah, so it's called, I'll bring that up, the Diathys stress model, which is basically, like, a diathys is like a vulnerability you have to getting a disorder. So let's say like abuse or trauma or losing your parent early. And then the stress is something that happens like later in life. And then the combination of those two things will make the disorder come about.
So you can't really predict it.
No, you can't.
Well, but you can't predict like when it will happen or when it will come out.
No, but you can figure out who's like more at risk than other people.
Oh.
Also, specific cultures have specific disorders. Like there's like stuff that's like just in Japan that people like there's like this one disorder just in Japan that people experience.
Like mental illness wise?
Yeah, where like they're like afraid that they're like their body or their facial expressions or something is going to like cause you discomfort. It's like a type of disorder that like only happens there.
That's wild. Because I know like, you know, Jews have Tay-Sachs and stuff, but like mental health wise, I didn't realize that could happen.
It's very exciting. Oh, so then this is, it's very exciting.
It's
It's
exciting in a learning way.
It's very interesting. Also that a child's temperament is biologically programmed.
Oh.
And I find this to be so interesting because my mom always said that my temperament was very carefree and happy. And then I got sick. And I've always felt like my true self was carefree and happy.
Oh.
And now I feel like that temperament is back now that I've gotten the OCD and anxiety under control.
Like people always say like, oh, if you're taking antidepressants, you're not the real you. But I'd argue that that makes you the real you.
Yeah.
Because the real you is what's under the anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just a medical examiner.
If something bad happens to you and you think, oh, that's because I'm a piece of shit. Versus
Doug.
Well, it's
reflecting on that, how related to myself.
But right, so like let's say like you don't like you have a bad meeting with someone and like the way that you interpret it is like, oh, I'm awful. So then your emotional reaction will be like sadness and depression. But if you're like, oh, that person clearly hadn't slept well and was cranky from being up with their newborn, then your emotional reaction will be like, well, nothing I could do.
That's a big change that I've gone through is processing that. And then my reactions make way more sense with the largesse of society versus like my own internalized thinking what happened and being so sure about what happened.
So like that's like cognitive behavioral therapy is like changing the way that you think about things and like the idea that like thoughts are so powerful.
Yes.
And like thoughts influence our feelings, which influences our behavior.
Yes.
So,
and therapy can really help with that.
Honestly, just watch this video. You'll be cured. But what I want to know is this interesting to you guys? And would you want me to maybe do videos about what I'm learning?
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, I'm not answering for y'all, but I think that's probably a great idea.
Well, think about it. Leave a comment. Let me know. Welcome to the quiz portion of our show, where Gabby will be quizzing me on flashcards that I made off of my abnormal psychology textbook.
AKA, I'm being tricked into helping Allison study. What is etiology? Am I saying
The
it right?
the cause of the pattern cause. What is it?
Yeah, the causal pattern
of a disorder.
Yeah, abnormal behavior.
Yeah, the causal pattern of abnormal behavior.
Necessary cause.
So a necessary cause means that if there is X, then there has to be X for there to be Y. So this rarely happens. Like the example is only like that, like with syphilis, you then get general paresis.
Yeah. So like something that actually leads. Well, what about like pandas to OCD, or like strep to OCD?
Yeah, but it's different because you don't need pandas to get OCD.
Oh.
So it's not a necessary cause. I feel like there are no necessary causes, but again, I'm only in week 3.
Protective factors?
So a protective factor is something that's going to decrease your risk of being vulnerable to getting a disorder. So like a very good relationship with a parent, or being loved and well fed, and like having good coping skills, having a high emotional intelligence, just intelligence in general.
Wow. Okay. Biopsychosocial viewpoint.
Thanks for asking. So that's basically the perspective that that there are biological factors, social factors, psychoanalytical factors that all lead to disorders.
Yeah, I tried to pick one where I wouldn't know a lot of the words. Polygenic. Am I gonna look so dumb? Like, are they gonna be
I
like...
don't know the answers. I think polygenic is multiple genes.
Yeah, I was gonna say break it down.
Multiple
Genes.
So most disorders, if they're genetic, are caused by multiple genes, not just one gene.
Genotype, environment, correlation.
That's a correlation between your genotype and your environment.
Nailed it. Linkage analysis. This one's long. That's why I picked it.
Fuck. Okay, so linkage analysis has something to do with chromosomes. And I think that it's like, does it have to do with chromosomes?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you have your chromosomes and you're looking for certain traits, right? So like, let's say 10 people have schizophrenia and then they all also have brown eyes. So you think, okay, so maybe the gene for schizophrenia is on the chromosome for brown eyes.
Yes. That's not true, but maybe.
That's
what it is. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is. Okay.
Is this the next game show? Watching Allison study? Maybe.
Superego.
So, Freud believed that there were three parts of your personality or whatever, the id, the ego, and the superego. And the superego is basically your conscience, and they're putting a lot of moral restraints on your actions.
Inner control system that deals with uninhibited desires, so it makes you not do those.
Right, so like, your id wants to do whatever it wants for like immediate gratification, and your superego is like, you must be morally correct always, and then your ego is like balancing between the two of them.
So let's just hypothetically say someone doesn't feel that they particularly have a superego.
You do though, because you don't think it's good to be mean to people or to like kill people or to like steal.
Wow. Okay, you're right. You're already a great therapist.
Thank you.
Hikikomori.
So this is a disorder that is only experienced in Japan.
Oh my god, we nailed it.
And it is where people do not, they develop, like young people develop like this severe like social anxiety, and they like move back in with their parents and they don't want to interact with anybody, and they can like live isolated alone for like 6 months to like years.
Yeah, they avoid social interaction and have acute social withdrawal. Wow, that's nuts. I'm glad we came back to that so we could say the name of the disorder you described before.
I was describing a different disorder before.
Another disorder common in Japan?
Yep.
Well, I guess you have to be a therapist in Japan then. Now, if you were wondering where we've been, obviously, we've been on our podcast, Just Between Us, which is available at Stitcher or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to us for hour-long stints on our podcast. So go listen to Just Between Us, where there's way more content than we're able to provide on this channel.
And if you want content on this channel of me just babbling about what I'm learning, let me know. But enough of you have to watch it for me to be able to pay Doug.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever
Doug,
that means to you.
Hashtag pay Doug.
Hashtag pay Doug.
Do you know you can study space law?
Really?
Yes, because they don't have any laws in space, and so they need lawyers and people to come up with like what good laws are for space, and you can literally be a space lawyer.
Wow.
Anyway, here's the thing. While Allison goes back to school for something real, I'm going to become a space lawyer.
That's real.
And you know what? It is real.